guys, Robert here, and welcome to episode 17 of RobGioRanks. For this episode, we're going to be ranking the debut full-length album from Jamie XX, In Color. A down-tempo album that, in my opinion, stood the test of time. It really has aged well, and yeah, let's just get started. At number 11, I've placed Just Saying. Number 10, I've placed Obvious. Number 9, I have placed I Know There's Gonna Be Good Times. Number 8, I have placed Gosh. Or Gorsh. Okay, I'm bad at the goofy impression. Anyway, number 7, I have placed Hold Tight. Number 6, I have placed Stranger in a Room. Number 5, I have placed Girl. Number 4, I have placed Sleep Sound. Number 3, I have placed Loud Places. Number 2, I have placed Seesaw. And finally, at number 1, I have placed The Rest Is Noise. So that was the ranking proper, and now it's time for me to discuss some of my favorite tracks on here, which are like my top 6 in the ranking, I guess. And of course, for the highlights, I'm going in chronological order. Starting with Sleep Sound, I think I really love this track a lot. Like, it sounds so minimal and yet so intricate and so ethereal as hell, which I feel like is a running theme throughout this entire album, being that it's a down-tempo album. So, yeah, either way, Sleep Sound is just a beautiful track. I really love the vocals on here. And then Seesaw, that one has probably gotta be my favorite of the two Rami collaborations. Not only are the pads just as atmospheric as always, but also the beat behind it kind of makes it like the most industrial sounding track on the whole album. Which is kind of weird for a down-tempo album, but that's kind of like the feel I get from Seesaw, and I love it. Like the beat, it kind of makes it like sort of like industrial, but also it's also just as ethereal and atmospheric as it is. So yeah, I love Seesaw as well. Stranger in a Room was like the track that grew on me substantially the most. I really didn't like it as much as the other tracks at first, mainly because like there was like so little going on, but I feel like that's pretty much the whole point of this track. It also kind of proves to me how like versatile this whole project can be. Like, it's not just like you're not gonna find, you know, just tracks with like a cool sounding beat behind it. Like, all it has is like arpeggios and the very smooth vocals from Oliver Sim. But I feel like that's pretty much all you need, and I really feel like that this track and I feel like that track doesn't really give me much to think about. You know, and also it kind of works as study music. You know, it kind of works as background music, but in a really, really great way. And oh yeah, the pianos towards the end of this track, they're also pretty beautiful as heck. Yeah, so yeah, Stranger in a Room is another highlight here. I also absolutely love it. Loud Places was my favorite track on here for a bit before it obviously got beaten out by other tracks that I think like are better. But like, that doesn't mean that I don't love Loud Places anymore. Loud Places is still an awesome track. Listening to that track now, it kind of reminds me a lot of Flight Facility Sunshine, which is definitely a compliment. Like, you know, just like the hook alone kind of reminds me of that. It kind of gives me like a similar uplifting, happy-go-lucky feeling to that track, which is amazing. But my actual favorite track from the album has to be the penultimate cut, The Rest Is Noise. Oh my god. And I know that, you know, this whole album kind of has this running theme of being this like ethereal down-tempo project, but this is probably the most ethereal track I've ever heard on this album, period. The pads that kind of combine with like these smooth, like choir-like vocals, like it kind of makes this like track have like, you know, so much of an alluring listening experience. And you know, I'm a sucker for like, you know, like the piano in like some parts. I have nothing much to say. It's just outright freaking beautiful. And while I see that Girl might be, you know, like people's least favorite track, you know, in their own opinions, in my opinion, I feel like Girl is another one of the big highlights here. Like, for me, it kind of works as like a big finisher here, even if it's not necessarily my favorite track on this album, obviously. Like, this track kind of works as, like, the grandiose finale to this album. Like, almost as grandiose as the rest is noise. And it might be the single most uplifting track on the entire album. Just, you know, like, especially towards the ending of that track, man. I just love this track so much as well. Girl is another big highlight here. As for the rest of these tracks, they're all at least good, and they do contribute to this album's atmosphere. Like, even the track Just Saying, even though it's my least favorite track on here for being not as fully developed as the other tracks, it still contributes to the cohesiveness of this album quite nicely. And yeah, this album as a whole is pretty cohesive as all hell as well. I love all the transitions from one track to the next. It's absolutely impeccable as heck. And yeah, overall, I can definitely see why this is being held up as a modern downtempo classic. I love every single little detail behind this album, ranging from the vocals to the ethereal and alluring pads to like even the variety, like especially, you know, like tracks like Seesaw and Loud Places and even Stranger in a Room, like it kind of proves how you know, versatile this whole thing is, and I absolutely love it for that. And yeah, I feel like giving this an 8.7 out of 10. So what do you think about In Color? If you have any thoughts on it, then I suggest leaving it down in the comment section down below. The Spotify link to this album will also be linked in the description down below if you want to get this album a listen. If you have any projects you want me to rank next, feel free to leave your suggestions in the request here form in the description down below. Also, be sure to like this video, share this one with your friends if you want to, and leave a comment down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe as we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.